Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to bushcraft. So today what we're going to be doing is walking right down this trail here, and we're on the search for resources. I'm going to teach you what to look for. We're going to be going after like aspen, tulip poplar, yellow birch, anything we can come across. I want to show you how to gather it and what the live tree looks like, and from there I'm going to gather some and kind of give you an idea of how to make a tinder bundle in the end. So thank you for joining me today, and I'd like to ask you to please like and subscribe so for future content you guys can catch that stuff. Thank you so much, and let's take a walk. And we have ourselves right here. This is an aspen, and I got a leaf. I wanted to show you this. So this is a big tooth aspen. It's in the shape of a spade. That's the leaf you'll find. And then if you look on the tree itself, you're going to find a lot of these triangular patterns that are going up the tree, and aspens definitely have that pattern. So this tree right here is used for the inner bark when you're making a tinder bundle. When you make your tinder bundle, you want to use quite a bit of this stuff. We're going to go and search for a fallen aspen in a little bit here to give you an idea of how you get that inner bark. But I just wanted to give you a good visual. This right here is a big tooth aspen. Alright guys, so found our fallen aspen here. You can look at it, get an idea, and actually during a dry day, this aspen will have a lighter color to it, but everything's wet right now. So what I want to show you with this is the best way to get to that inner bark. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep making incisions down the side here. Get a lengthy piece. And you want to reveal that bark. So you can see it's kind of starting to come up already. See, that's good right there. You want that good big piece. And already you can see the inner fibrous bark. This is the stuff you want. You don't want the thick, heavy bark, because that's not going to take very well at all. This is the stuff. And you can actually take and peel this right down the tree. Get yourself a real nice strand. So you want to remove the thick bark. And what you're trying to do is you're taking this stuff and you'll eventually turn it into your tinder bundle. And when this dries out, it will heat up quick, and it'll actually take from an ember pretty quick. Alright, so you just work down the tree, peel this apart, and then when you start to process this stuff, thins out, gets more fibrous. And this stuff right here is real good. This is probably second to tulip poplar. So that's what you're looking for, is this property, and you want to get yourself quite a bit of this. You want to have enough to where you can make a proper tinder bundle. So you're looking at a few softball sizes, being able to get this on your pack and let it air dry, or whatever way you're going to dry it out. So again, you see that? That right there is how it should come off. That's a perfect piece of aspen laying here. And you don't want to take it from the live trees. You want to take it from ones that have fallen and the bark is easier to lift off. Okay, and another pointer I want to make right now is today it's actually misting. It's pretty rainy out today. So what I want to do almost right away is I want to start processing this stuff down so I can give it time to dry. Because as you're walking and you carry this on your pack, or whichever way you carry it, it'll actually start to air dry. You don't even need the sun to start drying this stuff out. So you want to try and get that process going as fast as possible. You just start splitting this. Look at that. Fibrous material. You just start splitting it right down. And you want to give yourself quite a bit to work with. But once I get this on my pack and I start moving, we're in business. This will start to air dry. Alright guys, so here we are. We have come across the tulip poplar. This is a pretty handy tree. So this is what the leaf looks like. Very distinct. I mean, it's hard to not be able to identify that. And another thing to look for when you're looking on the tree, the bark pattern, the way I like to remember this is it kind of looks like reptile skin. It's a little hard to see today because it's been raining pretty much all day. But when these things are dry, you can really see that reptilian look skin look, it starts to really pop out on these. Now these trees right here, I said earlier, are probably the number one as far as the inner bark works for a tinder bundle. The inner bark on this is incredibly fibrous. So when it's dry, you can really start a fire with this stuff. We're going to be going and walking through the woods here and trying to find either a dead standing or a dead fallen one to be able to get some of the inner bark from. And that's one thing I want to mention is you definitely have to find either a dead standing or a fallen tulip poplar, because otherwise the green tulip poplar, that inner bark, it doesn't strip off and it wouldn't even burn right. As I was walking through here, this stood out to me almost right away. And the thing to look for is, if you've ever seen deer antler, it looks very similar to deer antler, and it just pops out. It's kind of white. So this is what we're looking for. See that? This is also the tulip poplar, and it strips right off. It goes in huge long strands. Now I want to say that you do want to find a bigger piece than this. You probably want to find a dead standing or fallen tree, but if you need to just start collecting material, here's a start. It's already fibrous. And this stuff here is actually a lot smaller and thinner, so it'll be easier to break up. So what you do, this stuff falls off. It just comes right off in strips. See it all hanging here? You can get yourself quite a bit, even off from just a branch. So keep an eye out for branches. Already, I have quite a bit to work with, and there's still plenty to peel off. So that's what you're looking for. Alright, so another tree I want to talk about is the yellow birch. This one, if you come close and look, peels off, and it's got a real thin paper-like bark. And this will also be a good source of material to use for ignition, because when you get about a softball size of this stuff, you can actually rough it right up and it'll become real fine, real easy to take and get a fire going with it. I'm trying to collect some here. So another thing about this tree is it contains oils in it naturally that will help, it fuels the fire. The oils in it will help it burn hotter, and it'll help the fire accelerate. So this is a really good tree to collect this bark from. What I'm doing right now is I want to start processing this stuff right down to its most fibrous form, because it is wet, and anytime you have to battle the moisture, it can be tough, but it's possible. So I'm just going to start taking strips and peeling it apart. And as I'm working through it, I'm just trying to make it into a fine, fibrous bundle.